You are listening to the Self-Trust Solution Podcast with Dawn Leday, episode number 20. Let's talk about the power of words today. This episode is great for you if you find yourself focusing on the words other people say or don't say to you. I'm going to talk about the power of words, the most important words you will hear, my personal goal that I invite you to share, and how you can start achieving that goal starting right now. Is self-trust holding you back? Visit me at theselftrustcoach.com and take the free self-trust quiz. Find out where self-trust may be holding you back and receive instant results along with what you can do in response. Take the free self-trust quiz at theselftrustcoach.com. Now on to the episode. Words are powerful. They can uplift and encourage, and they can also punish and condemn. There's a proverb that says, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." And while there is time for harsh words, how you receive words from others is primarily related to the words you say to yourself and the rules you have about what others can and cannot say to you, what they should or shouldn't say to you. Imagine that someone says to you that your dog is ugly, but you have a beautiful pet cat. You might laugh it off. You might completely dismiss it. Or you might even think the other person's just crazy. But what you likely wouldn't do is spend a lot of time thinking about why they would say that. You wouldn't think about getting a dog or thinking terrible things about yourself or your beautiful pet. People will say words to you. Sometimes you will like them and sometimes you will not like them. But what you believe about them is what will give them power or not. Because the most important words that you hear are those that come from yourself. It drives what you are willing to believe or not believe in the words others say, absolutely, but also what you believe or not believe is possible for you, what's available to you. And you have agency and choice over the words you say to yourself, the words you say to others. You do not, however, have control over the words other people say. You do have control over whether you believe them and what you want to do about it. And often, if that interpretation doesn't feel good, it's coming from a pain or a fear in a belief that you have about yourself or are afraid of having. So I have a personal goal that I would invite you to share, and it is to speak life. And what that means is to speak out of, my goal is to speak out of my soul instead of my pain. Meaning, out of who I know myself to be instead of who I judge myself to be in those moments when I can be judgmental and critical. So this affects how I'm speaking through this goal of mine, how I speak both to myself and to others. And it came out of this goal to always grow in self-trust, which of course you're going to trust someone more who is being kind to you than you are to someone that is not. And so that starts on the inside. And I heard someone recently say that when you speak life, it will bring life, no matter the response of others. And I really love that. And it makes sense because when I exercise my agency to choose how I speak to myself and what I believe about myself, I don't feel the need to defend or deny against the words of others. Nor do I feel the need to live into those words, meaning if they say something about me, I don't feel the need to put it on as if it is part of my identity. What I do instead is first remind myself of my own goodness. And then I get curious whether there's any truth that I want to explore. Because sometimes there are things we want to know from the words that others say, but it's not an obligation. Just because someone says words doesn't mean that we have to own them or wear them or make them a part of who we are. We don't have to believe them. And therefore, we get to choose. I might still want to look at it and say, okay, maybe that wasn't how I meant those words if someone is confused. Does it mean that I am confusing? But it can mean, if I get curious about it, that maybe there is another way that I'd love to share that same information. So I invite you to do the same. Speak comfortably to yourself. Be kind and gentle. Remind yourself of your own goodness. And then get curious about the words you hear. Don't automatically put them on and make them mean something about you or the other person. If you change what you say about you to you, you not only change how you receive the words of others, you will change how you speak to others and what you give yourself permission to believe about yourself, as well as what you do and don't do. It's simple, and it just starts with the decision to catch the thoughts that aren't nice to you and start deliberately giving more airtime to the ones that are. The result is an increase in self-trust and a willingness to choose purposefully that will expand far beyond the words you say to you. What will you take away from today's episode? My goal is for you to harness the power of your words. Stop focusing on the words you don't have control over and start focusing on the words you do. Choose the words you say to yourself on purpose. Speak out of your soul, out of your goodness instead of your pain, both to yourself first and see the effect of it that it outwardly produces to others. Make the decision to speak comfortably to yourself. I love this quote from Lisa Hayes. She said, "Be careful how you are talking to yourself because you are listening." I would add that you're not only listening, you are believing. And what you are believing can either make it easier to do all the things you want in your life, or it can make it harder and sometimes damn near impossible. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. This helps me reach new people, continue to create content, and brings me joy in my mission to serve. The conversations you have with you affect the conversations you have with others, how you receive their words, and the words you choose in response. If we were all as deliberate in how we talk to ourselves as we are in how we talk to others, kindness might just lead the conversation more. Join us next week for episode number 21. Thanks for tuning in and have a trust-filled week. Hey, if you're ready to build unshakable self-trust to achieve your goals and make the impact you're being called to make in a way that feels amazing, join me in Coach for Life. Coach for Life is the coaching program to build self-trust and achieve your goals. Join now at theselftrustcoach.com/Coach for Life program. That's Coach, the number 4, Life program. See you inside.